My girlfriend said I need space, don't contact me for a while, then tagged him in new beginnings. I respected the silence, unfollowed, muted, and moved my weekend to a new city. Paper trails beat promises, and when her stories needed a villain, I gave them none, just absence and upgraded peace. I'm making dinner when her text lands like a stapler through drywall. I need space. Don't call or text. I'll reach out when I'm ready. I stare at it, notice the period after ready, and feel the click of something sliding into place. I reply, okay. Set the phone face down and keep slicing green onions. Cold clarity wins over flailing. I mute our thread, archive the chat, and kill notifications for her friends, the chorus that thrives on screenshots. I book a weekend in Dallas, 2 nights near the Perot Museum, just to get out of the gravity well of our living room. I forward the booking to no one. I water the fiddle leaf fig, coil the charging cables, and label a Ziploc spare keys, Sarah, before putting it in the safe. At the office, I act normal. I'm 32, an electrical tech with a fluke multimeter always in my backpack, and I let routine hold me upright. I log calibration numbers. I drink coffee that tastes like burnt toast. At lunch, I delete our shared grocery list and create my own. Boundaries are a list with boxes you can check. By Friday afternoon, the quiet fractures. A mutual tags her in a reel. New beginnings, clinking glasses, sparkles. I tap it with that dull self-harm impulse. There's Sarah in a silk wrap, palms behind her, chin tipped at the exact angle she uses when she wants forgiveness preloaded. And there's Tyler, the ex with a jawline like a box cutter, cupping her waist as if he signed a lease. The caption is soup, growth, grace, letting go. The comments are knives disguised as flowers. That night, at a friend's birthday, the host hands her a mic. I'm not there. I just get the clips, DM'd by the kind coworker who never chooses a side. Sarah laughs into the room. Mark's great. Like an older brother who doesn't get what space means. Cheerful cruelty. The crowd laughs because performance is gravity and no one wants to float away. Then a story poll. Do we need to grow up separately? Yes/no. I watch the percentages tilt toward yes like a floor not built square. I put the phone down, pick up my lease. My name is the only one on it. I run my finger under the clause about unauthorized long-term guests. I highlight it, snap a picture, and email it to myself. Receipts, housing. Paper beats rumor. Locks beat bedtime speeches. I take a notebook and write dates, times, exact words. I need space. Don't call or text. Quoted, time-stamped, saved. I book the Dallas hotel a second time, extend the stay with points, then set an out-of-office for Monday, family obligations. I pack the essentials, work laptop, passport, toolkit, the pocket notebook my dad gave me, and leave her a note that says nothing new. Got your message. Respecting space. Back Tuesday. Calm Inc. No plea. On the drive north, I feel the shake pass through my hands and out the window somewhere near Hillsboro. I don't roar music. I let the white noise of the road clean the edges. In the hotel, I hit the gym, then walk downtown until the urge to send something cutting loses oxygen. Back in my room, I move the shared streaming accounts to new passwords and remove her profile from my car's Bluetooth. Not revenge. Hygiene. Saturday morning. Her best friend posts a boomerang. Tyler swirling a lime over 2 palomas. Sarah mouths, fresh start. The comments call me controlling, financially abusive, older brother energy. I breathe once, twice, and line up the facts. She asked for space. I granted it. She filled it with her past. My crime is not applauding. I start a folder titled Boundary File. Screenshots of the reel, the poll, the caption. Photos of the lease. A note that says key inventory and lists 2 copies in the safe and 1 on my ring. I call the landlord, leave a measured voicemail, confirming I remain sole tenant. No changes, just updating emergency contacts. He texts back a thumbs up and the clause number about guests. I add that to the file. By evening, the group chat I'm still technically in lights up. Proud of you, girl. Men need consequences. Someone I once drove to the airport writes, he'll learn. I mute it for 1 year and export the chat, then delete my presence like wiping a whiteboard. Somewhere, they're practicing lines for a scene I won't join. Sunday, I sit in a Dallas coffee shop with a cinnamon roll and outline my next week like a project plan. Step 1. Respect the text literally, no contact. Step 2. Remove ambiguity, separate finances where legally separate. We never had a joint account. Only my card she used as an authorized user. Step 3. Inventory what's mine, what's hers, and what's disputed. Step 4. Talk to no one who treats my life like open mic night. The shock burns off. What's left is the quiet metal of decision. She wanted space. I'm giving her the vacuum version, no air for mixed messages, no oxygen for public shade. New beginnings is a frame. I'm not in it. Boundaries aren't a mood. They're a ledger. I don't argue. I document, I label, I lock, I leave. Saturday at 8:12 a.m. I text a mobile locksmith whose magnet I stuck on the breaker panel 6 months ago. He arrives in a dented Transit by 9:03. I show him the lease, my ID, and the space text I screenshotted with the timestamp. He nods once like a surgeon confirming the right limb. We replace the deadbolt cylinder, swap the latch that always stuck in August heat, and key the patio slider to match. $180 even. Invoice #A6179. Paid by card. He hands me 3 fresh brass keys in a zip bag and a tiny blue tag stamped 42. Instant Peace has a receipt. Before he leaves, I ask about the mailbox. He says USPS rekey requires the postmaster. He can't touch it. I write a task for Monday, Post Office Box 3C. Then I open my Notes app and update key inventory. Old keys, 2 in safe, 1 on ring. New set, 3. Old set retired. I drop 1 new key into the safe where I'd labeled a Ziploc, spare keys, Sarah, and move that Ziploc to a shoebox titled Archive. Space means all doors match the same decision. Next, the car. 6 months ago, Sarah's Civic died with a rod knock, and I bought a 2015 Honda CR-V so she could get to shifts. Loan in my name, title in my name, insurance in my name. She was never a co-borrower, never on the title, only listed as an occasional driver. We wrote an agreement. She would send $325 on the first 4 use. She made 4 payments, missed 2, sent heart emojis when I reminded her. She hung fuzzy dice and called it hers. Legally, it never was. At 10:26, I pull the spare from my desk drawer, grab the loan folder, and walk to the lot. The CR-V sits in her spot, dusted with oak pollen. I photograph the exterior, the odometer 127,418, the VIN plate, and the glove box where the registration lives. I record a slow pan of the interior to document condition, fuzzy dice, her denim jacket, a reusable cup with lipstick on the rim. I set the jacket and cup aside on the back seat. I'll inventory those later. Then I start the engine and drive to the dealership that buys outright on South Lamar. They appraise it in 30 minutes. Preliminary estimate: $14,950 pending inspection and lien payoff. The buyer prints a "We Buy" sheet and circles the number. We talk mechanics. Small seep at the valve cover, rear tires at 430 seconds. He explains the process: wire to the lender, remainder to me, 3 to 5 business days after title release. I nod because this is logistics, not theater. I sign nothing today. I keep the sheet and ask them to email the offer. Subject: 2015 CR-V preliminary. Outside, I order an Uber. I take the fuzzy dice off the mirror, toss them into the glove box, lock the doors, and hand the service manager the spare for the inspection. My key stays on my ring. I ride home in a Camry with a driver who doesn't speak except to confirm my address. When we turn onto my street, there's an empty rectangle where Sarah always parked. Space, rendered in asphalt. Back upstairs, I don't touch her things. I open the guest room, spread a blue tarp on the carpet, and start a clean, boring inventory. I label bankers boxes: closet, Sarah; bathroom, Sarah; kitchen, Sarah. I put a post-it on each with a number and log it in the boundary file with brief contents. Box 1, sweaters, black boots, Polaroids, Sealed. I photograph every box before closing it. I do not seal with tape. I use twine so nothing feels final. I slide the denim jacket and lipstick cup onto the dresser, note them as car loose items, and leave them visible. I open my insurance app and remove her as an additional driver effective Tuesday at midnight. That keeps coverage while the car sits at the dealer. I print the change effective confirmation and tuck it behind the loan statement. I log into my credit card and revoke her authorized user card. Different from a joint account, which we never had. The system shows the card ending in 1036 revoked at 1:41 p.m. I screenshot the event. Hygiene, not hostility. I draft a single email to myself with all attachments. Locksmith invoice, key photos, CRV offer, insurance change, authorized user revocation, box inventory PDF. Subject line, receipts, locks, and title. Today's date. I BCC my personal archive account. No CCs. Silence doesn't mean sloppiness. At 3:12 p.m., her mom calls. I let it go to voicemail. She texts, "Where's Sarah's car? She needs it for work." I stare at the words Sarah's car for a full 10 seconds, then reply with a single sentence that contains only facts. The 2015 CRV is titled, financed, and insured solely in my name. It's at South Lamar Honda for inspection. I attach nothing. I don't invite debate. I log the exchange in the file. Inquiry, 3:12 p.m. I check the apartment again. Our place looks like an evidence locker met a minimalist showroom. Neat stacks, labels, neutral light. I exhale, then take a walk around the block. Neighbors wave. I wave back. No statement, no scene. Back inside. I set a timer for 15 minutes and sit with the urge to explain. Passes. She asked for space. I am giving it dimensions. Brass keys, a buyer's sheet, a revised policy, twine on boxes. No, we need to talk. No DMs. No surprise speeches in front of friends. Just moving what she treated as permanent off my balance sheet and into the world of documents, where feelings have to wait their turn. A week later, the key raked metal and went nowhere. I had the chain on. I opened 3 inches. Sun hit her shoulders, lake tan, party hair, airport sweatshirt. She made the face she uses on waiters. Did the lock break? I changed it, I said. You asked for no contact. Your new beginnings with Tyler explained the rest. Her expression flickered, shock, then fury, then the familiar entitlement settling like a coat. Let me in. Where's my car? The lease is mine, I said calm. The car's mine too. It's at South Lamar Honda for inspection. Offer pending. I'm selling it. She pushed the door with her palm like the hinge owed her. The chain popped taut. I'll call the cops. Great, I said. Tell them the leaseholder changed his own locks after a no-contact text and is selling a vehicle title to him. I'll wait with the paperwork. Footsteps clattered. Lily, 24, sprinting toward chaos like it's cardio, appeared with a tote bag and a phone already pointed at my door. You're being vindictive. She was confused. You made her feel unsafe. Film the chain, I said. There's your safety. I nodded at the camera. Time now, 6:42 p.m. Boxes are logged and labeled. Pickups by appointment only. Sarah's mouth tightened. You're punishing me for taking space. I'm respecting it literally. I kept my tone accountant flat. Text a time within the next 7 days. I'll stage your boxes in the entry. You're not coming past the threshold. She tried a softer register, the one with fog on it. Mark, be reasonable. We're adults. We are, I said. Adults write agreements, keep receipts, and stop making the hallway a stage. You asked for silence. I built the hardware for it. They retreated 2 steps to whisper litigate and refresh a group chat. My watch buzzed with a tag. Her live had started. The caption, when space becomes control. I took a photo of my chain and the peephole view and saved it to the boundary file. Arrival chain engaged. Where's my stuff then? She called. You can't hold it hostage. Guest room, I said. Box count 12. Inventory in PDF. No hostage. Just custody until a scheduled handoff. I slid a manila envelope through the 3-inch gap, photocopies of the locksmith invoice and the dealership offer. Here are facts. Lily filmed the envelope like it might bite. This is abuse, she announced to the phone. Financially abusive. I let the word hang and then cut its cord with a sentence. Authorized user status revoked is not closing a joint account. We never had one. I watched her mouth the phrase, trying to turn it into a villain line. It doesn't scan well for reels. Sarah's voice climbed. You humiliated me. People are asking why I don't have a key to my own home. It isn't your home, I said. It's my apartment. My rules. The lease shows one name. You still have dignity. It's just not a key. She pressed her forehead to the crack, sudden pleading. So that's it? After 4 years. That's the lock, I said. The 4 years are a different file. Silence. The hallway AC kicked on. Somewhere a neighbor stirred pasta. The ordinary world kept beating. She tried status next. Tyler says you're unstable. Then it's good I'm not dating Tyler, I said. Text a pickup time. Lily hissed. We'll get a lawyer. I almost said please do. But I've learned not to feed lines. I let the chain and cylinder do the talking. Hardware is impartial theater. Her phone pinged. She read, then flipped the script back to anger. You sold my car without telling me. It isn't yours. The title, loan, and policy say my full legal name. I held up the folder. If you want copies, ask. I'll print them. Entry pickup only. She stepped away, thumbs flying. In her live, comments bloomed. Call the cops. He can't do that. Girl, come stay with me. I screenshot the live title, muted the tag, and added the image to the boundary file with the note. Public narrative, control accusation. I don't argue in public. I let receipts hum like a refrigerator. Wednesday at 6, she said finally. We'll be back. Text to confirm by noon Wednesday, I said. I'll stage the boxes in the entry and prop the door. You can bring help for the bigger items. No linger, no filming inside, no Tyler. Why not Tyler? Lily snapped. Because space doesn't come with a +1, I said. And because the leaseholder says so. I closed the door gently until the chain touched, then lifted it, then shut the solid core with a click that sounded like the period she forgot to include. I stood with my palm on the wood and let my hands shake. I breathed. The quiet landed like furniture finally delivered. Heavy, useful, mine. I wrote a quick note for the file. Attempted reentry denied. 6:42 to 6:58 p.m. and printed 2 fresh pickup instructions on plain paper for Wednesday. 1 copy to tape inside the entry, 1 to hand through the gap. No speeches. No late-night paragraphs. Just the calm grammar of bolts, copies, and a threshold that is no longer a metaphor. At 9:57 a.m., I propped the apartment door and taped pickup instructions at eye level. Entryway only, no filming inside, no bathroom/closet access, boxes pre-inventoried, sign here to acknowledge receipt. At 10 o'clock sharp, Lily arrived with their mom, Donna. The elevator dinged once like a gavel. Sarah stayed in the car. Stress. According to a text Lily flashed like a badge. Donna opened with tears, then scolding, then tears again, rotating through like a ceiling fan. Forgive a mistake. Why sell her car? She needs it for work. I kept my hands visible and my voice on accountant. Title, loan, and insurance list my name. Her $325 payments were for use, not ownership. The car is at the dealership for inspection. We need to check the closets, Lily said, and the bathroom, in case of jewelry. Entryway pickup only, I said, tapping the clipboard. All items inventoried. Boxes labeled. You can sign, load, and go. If something's missing, email me a list. I'll compare to the inventory and respond within 2 business days. Donna bristled. This is humiliating. Neutral, I said. Same rules for everyone. This keeps us out of each other's spaces. We began the choreography. I slid box 1 to the threshold, lid tied with twine. Donna peered in, sniffed soaps like they held intent, and nodded to Lily. Trip 1. Sweaters, boots, Polaroids, sealed. Trip 2, kitchen, her Dutch oven, the copper mugs, the lemon zester I didn't know existed until now. Trip 3, bathroom caddy, hairdryer, hot tools in a heat-proof roll. I checked each number off, had Donna initial the manifest, and photographed the cart as it crossed the hall line. Between loads, Donna tried a different script. Mark, be generous. She gave you her best years. She's 27, I said. Her best years are ahead. Mine are too. Lily hovered with her phone, angling for drama. I gestured to the paper again. Signature here confirms receipt. No commentary required. On the 4th trip, Donna squared to me. You're throwing her out without her belongings. Box 12 says books and framed prints, I said. And it's right there. I slid the box. Then the manila envelope of copies I'd made, locksmith invoice, offer sheet, authorized user revocation record. These are for your records. Keep them. They wanted the bedroom. They wanted the medicine cabinet. They wanted inside where negotiation could grow teeth. I refused the geography. Entry only, I repeated. It's the rule that prevents arguments. 10:48, the last box rolled away. Donna signed the acknowledgement with a hard dot on the I, like it was my face. I countersigned, snapped a photo of both signatures, and handed her a copy. We're done, I said. If you discover something missing that's on the manifest, email me. Donna tried one more pass. What about her car? Dealer completed inspection, I said. Offer will finalize this week. Again, title to me. She stared like I'd confessed to a petty crime in a cathedral. Then she pressed the elevator button and left with Lily's tote and a dignity I wished for all of us. That Wednesday, the dealer called. Inspection finalized at $15,400 with wear factored in. Rear tires at 432. Valve cover seep noted. I drove over, signed the title transfer, watched them wire the lender for the payoff, and left with the remainder check. Deposit slip at 4:06 p.m. Teller initial LM. I scanned everything into the boundary file. CRV final. That night, the texts started their whiplash ballet. 6:12 p.m. I miss you. 6:20. I can't believe you humiliated me. 6:41. Send me $8,000. I invested in that car. 6:59. We can fix this if you stop punishing me. I sent a single message at 7:10. Title/loan/insurance solely in my name. Your payments were usage rent per our agreement. No ownership accrued. Documented. I attached the initial use agreement we'd both signed, then muted the thread. At 7:22, Lily texted, "Pay her or we go public." Donna followed with, "You broke a family." I blocked Sarah, then Lily, then Donna. Not rage, risk management. I exported each chat, noted the timestamps, and filed them. Silence isn't avoidance. It's a safety feature. Mutuals slid into my DMs with her spin. Thrown out without belongings. Car stolen. Locked her away from her meds. I answered 2 people who had earned straight answers. Sent the pickup manifest with Donna's signature, and the dealer's offer sheet with the VIN blacked out. Both replied, "Got it." The rest got nothing. Facts don't need a crowd. By Friday, the echo had faded to a hum. I cooked pasta, wiped the counter, and set the last empty banker's box by the trash chute. The apartment felt like a place again. Mine, quiet, unfilmed. The ledger balanced. Locks changed, boxes transferred, vehicle sold, accounts sanitized. No victory lap. Just a closed loop and a calendar without her name on it. The anonymous complaint landed Wednesday at 9:11 a.m., forwarded by the building manager with a subject line that tried to sound urgent. Safety concern, Unit 3C. The body read like it was written inside a group chat. Resident is shouting, controlling access, making a young woman fear for her safety. I called the office and asked for Maria, the manager who knows the difference between drama and danger. "Walk me through," she said. "Brief exterior argument last week when she discovered the new locks," I said. "No threats, no entry." Then a supervised pickup at the door, entryway only, Boxes inventoried, her mother signed the acknowledgement. Former occupant no longer resides here. Quiet since. Maria hummed the bureaucratic hum of someone checking leases. Your file shows you're the sole tenant, she said. You're allowed to rekey as long as we have a copy, which we do. I'll note the complaint and close it. Thank you, I said. If the hallway becomes a stage again, I'll call the desk first. At lunch, Tyler sent me a DM from an account named truthteller_83. Real men don't hide behind paperwork. Block. Then a second one from his actual handle. Return her car money or we pull up. I screenshotted both and added them to the boundary file under unrequested outreach third party. Then I blocked again. The block list is not emotional. It's plumbing. By evening, Sarah's TikTok joined the playbill. A 2-minute monologue over a piano track, text overlay, when space becomes control, clips of a chain, a peeled-off parking sticker, a woman's hand on a stack of boxes. Comments did what comments do. I did what I do. Captured the post with timestamps and URL, then closed the app. Facts don't open a lock without a key. Thursday, I sat in a conference room that smelled like copy paper and lemon cleaner and went line by line with an attorney named Patel. I slid the piece folder across the table, her no-contact text with date and time, the New Beginnings reel and story poll, photos of the locksmith invoice and new keys, the lease with only my name, the CRV title, loan statement, and policy showing me as the sole owner/insured, the usage agreement for $325 per month, the pickup manifest signed by Donna, screenshots of the anonymous complaint email, Tyler's DMs. Patel read without commentary, pen tapping a quiet metronome. Locks, he said. Lease allows rekey with a copy to management, I said. Provided. Car. Titled to me. Loan in my name. Insurance in my name. She was an authorized user on a card, not a joint account holder. Payments labeled use. He nodded. Rock solid. You're not evicting a co-tenant. You're ending permissive occupancy after a no-contact request and public coupling with an ex. You handled property transfer at the threshold with documentation. If they escalate with harassment, we send a demand letter to cease contact and take down defamatory posts. If they show up and refuse to leave, call non-emergency and then me. If threats continue, we'll file for a protective order. Keep all communication written only. I asked about the complaint. Noise. Anonymous complaints die in the file drawer when leases and logs say otherwise, he said. You already notified management. Good. Money, I said. She's texting about her investment. Usage payments do not create an equity interest absent a written ownership agreement, he said, flipping the signed use page, which you have, and it says the opposite. If she sues in small claims, you bring the stack. Judge will call it rent. He slid the folder back, now restacked like a dossier. You've been boring in exactly the right way. I built the piece folder into a more formal binder that night. Tabs for lease, vehicle, communication, pickup, social, third party. I added an index page and a running log with dates and actions. I printed 2 extra copies and stored one offsite at my sister's. Boring is a contingency plan. That weekend, I repainted the bedroom walls from Builder Beige to a soft gray with a paint name that sounded like weather. I sold the wobbly bar cart and the copper mugs on Marketplace for $75 and used the cash to buy a sturdier bookshelf. I swapped 2 prints, a national park map and a schematic of a CB750, into frames Sarah had filled with quotes about choosing joy. The apartment looked less like a set and more like a room that would be here tomorrow. Silence returned in layers. The dishwasher ran and no one filmed it. The hallway light flicked and no one narrated it. I cooked, I read, I slept through the night. The quiet felt earned, not imposed. 2 pings cut through on Sunday. An email from the landlord closing the complaint, and a calendar reminder to rotate passwords. I did the second, sent the first to the binder, and turned my phone face down. If further noise arrived, it would meet paper and procedures. If nothing did, that was the point. Boundaries weren't about winning. They were about not auditioning for a part one never wanted. 2 months moved like a train you hear before you see. The door stayed shut, the chain unused. The inbox stayed mostly normal utilities, project updates, a discount on air filters, until a PDF from a strip mall law office arrived with a demand. $10,000 for car contributions, unpaid labor, and emotional distress. The letter cited community reputation and public harm. It read like a comment section stapled to letterhead. I forwarded it to Patel, added it to the binder, and made coffee. Patel's reply went out the next morning. Copies of the CRV title, loan, and insurance. The signed use agreement. Her no-contact text. The New Beginnings posts with timestamps and captions. The pickup manifest with Donna's signature. The last page warned of fee shifting for frivolous claims and reserved the right to pursue relief for harassment. 2 pages of facts, 1 paragraph of teeth. We sent it certified and electronic. Then we did nothing. Silence followed like a verdict. No counters, no new claims, no officer at the door. The complaint file from the building closed with a bland resolved. The tick-tock about control slowed in the algorithm, then disappeared under a smoothie tutorial. I kept living inside a schedule no longer written by anyone else's mood. I replaced a squeaky hinge. I learned how to poach an egg without breaking the yolk. Peace is maintenance. Word traveled without my participation. A mutual wrote that Tyler drifted after vacation, reappearing only to repost gym mirrors. Lily's live streams thinned. The audience did what audiences do, moved on to shinier cliffhangers. Donna sent one last email that said, simply, "We're disappointed." And then even that cooled into nothing. People who thrive on heat always assume the opposite of heat is failure. It's not. It's cooling metal. On Saturdays I drove to San Antonio for brisket and a walk on the river walk before the crowds. I put the AeroPress on the counter instead of the back cabinet where Sarah staged it for photos. I bought beans from a roaster that prints the roast date like a promise. I set my phone on Do Not Disturb and watered the fiddle leaf fig by the kitchen window. It stopped dropping leaves. So did I. The living room lost its performative angles. I floated the couch off the wall, added a lamp with a dimmer, and kept the bookshelf sturdy. The National Park map and CB 750 schematic flanked the TV like quiet witnesses. No tripod. No ring light. The rug looks better with shoes not designed for an exit shot. Friends came by and we talked about work, guitars, where to find the good tacos after midnight. Nobody asked for a tour or a take. I didn't become the villain in her stories. I became an absence. Absence doesn't argue. Absence doesn't post. Absence is a shape other people have to walk around. The empty parking spot that first night wasn't revenge. It was a signed boundary. I Need Space had been delivered exactly as ordered, stamped by locks, logged by dates, enforced by hardware. Somewhere a clip insists otherwise. The apartment disagrees. When the settlement demand yielded nothing, the strip mall firm stopped writing. Patel and I left the file open on a shelf labeled inactive. Holds 6 months. If anything flares, the binder opens like a door on hinges I've already WD-40'd. If nothing does, the folder ages into archive. Paper doesn't need closure. It needs a place to live. The last echo came as a dusk knock I didn't answer. I watched the peephole fill with fisheye and empty again. No note. No new rules. I wrote the time in the log and closed it. Then I put on a record and stood at the window while the city turned its lights on without asking how my narrative was testing with viewers. Austin hums either way. Upgraded peace wasn't a grand gesture. It was 100 procedural verbs. Cancel, revoke, document, inventory, repaint, rekey, remove, restore. It was choosing a ledger over a stage. It was discovering that dignity sounds like a soft latch and a coffee grinder at 7:11 a.m. It was the relief of not having to reverse engineer every emotion into content. She chose reels and applause. I chose documents and a door that locks. Space isn't punitive when it's mutual and signed. It's simply room to breathe that no one funds with credit pulled from someone else's trust.